I remember Ma when the first. I remember Ma. I was living in the States. I was in Boston, and I forget when the metric came out. I think 85% of the people did not want metric, and Al Strachan told me how it got through. What happened was that the prime minister at the time, Trudeau, prime minister, Pierre, he waited till 12 o'clock till everybody had, or he waited till everybody had left, and he put it through, because it's metric is not. And Ma didn't. I confused. The person who just come from a foreign land landed knew exactly if you want some meat.
Yeah, metric was in Europe.
Yeah, and I think it's in. So one time I'm at Air Canada, and they had it on the board. What time it leaves? 0490 or something like that.
Yeah, that's military time.
And so I went to the girl. Just I had nothing to do. Ron and I were there, sitting around. I said, "What time is it?" She said. She looked at her watch. 5:30. I says, "Well, why you got on the boards? It leaves at 14." She says, "We're told to."
So you're equating military time with metric.
That's all.
It's just all the same, eh?
You know, like I went to, getting off the topic of metric, I went to school in the States when so it would have probably been mid-70s when they were trying to teach us metric.
In the States.
In the States.
Oh.
And they were trying to, there was a push at the time, because we were in Massachusetts, Boston, which is a liberal state with the Kennedys, and they were trying to spearhead changing to metric. So 1 year, I mean, we had basically a class every hour or 1 hour every day learning about metric. And then the parents
Still don't know.
And yeah, so the parents just said no, and it didn't fly.
But-
Well, they tried to. I hate to interrupt, Cindy, but they tried that in New York State, and they had metric on the highways. They cut them down. Americans wouldn't do.
Yeah,
and they had Susan B. Anthony's.
the silver dollars.
They're the silver
Oh,
dollars.
I remember them. They were pretty cool, and they came out, but nobody liked them.
Well, what happened was, Americans like the dollar,
They like the
dollar. They don't want
They
it.
like paper money.
Well, Ron and I used to go on the road, and I'd end up with my pockets. I'd say the bill comes to $5.50 or something like that. You'd get all change, so you'd shove them in your pocket. It was awful. Anyhow,
Yeah, well, the problem with the
How we
Susan B. Anthony coin was it looked like a quarter, but it was like an octagon, right? So it was the size of a quarter, and so people were just used changing. If you wanted $1, they'd give you four of these dollar bills. So that
anyhow, there's about
Well,
seven.
I can tell you, I mean, we own the restaurants, and I bartended at the time up in Hamilton. And I'll tell you, bartenders made a ton of money in tips, because when Canadians first started the loonie and all, they would be treating it like quarters, and for tipping, right? Because they'd get confused between the quarter and the loonie, and the way you gave change to it. So anyone that knows restaurants would know what I'm talking about. So anyway.